What other bar is giving you happy hour on Friday? Beer here back at the Fantasy Bar. 6 of my favorite plays for you tonight on FanDuel and DraftKings, and we are running it back on happy hour. 6 plays, 5 bats for you, all 5K or below on DraftKings. Every single bat on FanDuel under $3,200. We've got values, we've got buy lows, we've got stacks, we've got my favorite starting pitcher, and of course, my favorite bat on the entire slate. Who we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy Six Pack. Thank you once again for joining me here in the Fantasy Bar. And we are running it back on our happy hour here, the only bar out there offering happy hour on Friday. What does that mean? We've slashed prices, found you some values and guys that are underpriced. Worked well for us on Tuesday. Big night for us. Home runs out of a bunch of our bats. Kerry Carpenter, Willie Abreu, and Rafael Devers all going deep in that segment. So hope to keep it running here on this Friday night. But before we get into those plays, do me a favor. Take a second, hit that tip jar, and that is that thumbs up button. Let's see how many we can get on the video. Appreciate that. Subscribe, hit that notification bell if you have not already. All right, let's jump into a huge slate of games. Not much weather concerns out there, so if we have to make any changes, as always, we'll do so in that YouTube comment section. All right, first bat, one of our favorite values of late and still underpriced in my opinion, outfielder Trent Grisham. So just continues to get it done, and the prices have not caught up to what he is doing right now, hitting leadoff in this Yankees lineup. Think about the bats behind him. The production has been there as well, and this is one of the best hitters in all of baseball this season. Guys with at least 40 plate appearances against right-handed pitching. He ranks in the top 5 in both WOBA and ISO this season, well above 450 in both of those categories. Now, Papeo on the other side really struggled with left-handed hitters, so a good matchup here. 351 WOBA, 288 ISO so far, 47% hard contact rate, and all those numbers coming with a batting average on balls in play at just 237. So those numbers could be even worse here. Tough spot, absolutely love the Yankees. Not going to give you them as a stack, but you can certainly go that route. One of my favorites with the value here in Trent Grisham. All right, let's stay in the outfield with Mike Stremsky of the Giants. So, has been swinging a good bat of late. 4 multi-hit games for him now over the last 7. We're talking about another guy, top 10 in all of baseball with a 442 WOBA against right-handed pitching this season. ISO pretty strong as well at 265, so gives you that power that we are looking for. And it doesn't get much better in a matchup with Senzatella, one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball this season. Strikeout rate against lefties, 6.6%, so pretty much negates any strikeout concerns here. WOBA near 400, giving up a ton of hard contact as well at over 47%. So a good matchup here. One of the best hitters against right-handed pitching, against one of the worst right-handed pitchers in all of baseball, Mike Yastrzemski. One of my favorites here for Friday night. All right, let's stay right there and stack the Giants at shortstop with Willie Adamus. So Adamus, one of my favorite buy lows right now here as well. Price is way down, $3,600 on DraftKings, just $2,600 on FanDuel. You think about what we paid for this guy in the past, and I get it. It's been a slow start to the season, but his bat really starting to heat up. Hits in 7 of his last 9 games, couple multi-hit games for him over the last 3. That slow start's kind of dragged his numbers down against right-handed pitching this season, but still getting enough hard contact at over 55%. And when you look back to last season, talking to WOBA at almost 370 and ISO up at 240 against righties here. As bad as Senzatella has been against lefties, even worse against right-handed hitters this season. Massive 486 WOBA, huge 345 ISO, 62% hard contact, and look at that barrel rate at 18% for right-handed hitters. Love the Giants and love these prices here on Willie Adamus. All right, we saved you with the bats so we could spend up at starting pitcher on Tarik Skubal. So a lot of cheap bats tonight, a lot of cheap stacks, a lot of ways to go with the bats where you can pay up for this spot here for Tarik Skubal against the Los Angeles Angels. Some huge numbers here of late for Skubal. 3 of his last 4 starts have gone 27, 35, and 36 DraftKings points. So absolutely smashing here. And the Angels, one of the best strikeout matchups in all of baseball for left-handed pitching. Only the Rockies with more strikeouts against lefties than the Angels. Second worst in all of baseball at 28%. No Mike Trout. Yes, that hurts the strikeout upside, but it also helps in guys that can do damage here. This is just a bad lineup with a ton of strikeout upside. I think Skoglund goes for 10 plus strikeouts here, crosses 30 DraftKings points again, and all the cheap bats make it very possible to get him in a lineup and still feel good about things. Eric Skoglund, my favorite pitcher here for Friday night. All right, speaking of bats, let's go back to the bats, back to the outfield, and back to value with Andy Pagus of the Dodgers. So you talk about red hot here. Pagus, one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball over his last 10 games, 462 batting average, 4 home runs over that span, ranks second on this team. And you think about all the great bats in this Dodgers lineup. He ranks second in WOBA against right-handed pitching this season at 404, solid 246 ISO to go along with that. And this is another great matchup. Holmes really been struggling against righties. WOBA over 400, ISO up at 340, hard contact rate at nearly 63%, barrel rate over 14%, and another guy, look at that batting average on balls in play at just 200. These numbers should be even worse here for Holmes. So great spot here for the Dodgers and great value here on Andy Pagus. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. Easy to play. All you need to do, hit that tip jar with the thumbs up button, head to the comment section and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my highest scoring hitter. Doesn't have to be the Beast, can be any of the 5 bats. You don't have to even guess who it is. All you have to do is guess DraftKings points for whichever one of my bats scores the most fantasy points on DraftKings. If your guess is the closest, you're going to win a free week of RotoGrinders Premium just for hanging out today in the fantasy bar. All right, let's wrap it up with my favorite play for Friday night. Mass Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time, our final bat of the night, and we are rolling with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of Toronto, tonight's Beast of the Night. So another slow starter that we know was going to get it going sooner rather than later. We are starting to see that here. 2 home runs over his last 3 games since the start of 2024. Guy has been lights out against left-handed pitching. WOBA at almost 400, ISO at almost 240 here. Now Logan Allen been better against righties this season, no doubt. Still giving up a 46% hard contact rate, 407 WOBA, 268 ISO last season. If I'm betting on Logan Allen either improving or these numbers starting to regress, I am betting on the regression here. Love Toronto, and I love Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Think he sends one into the seats tonight. Vlad, easily my favorite play on the board and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll wrap us up for our Friday happy hour here. Hope you guys enjoyed the content and the picks. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, whatever you guys want to talk about, hit me up in that YouTube comment section or over on Twitter at Beermakersfan. And don't forget, get your guess in. Super simple. Guess the fantasy points on DraftKings for my highest scoring hitter. If your guess is the closest, you're going to walk away with a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck on tonight's slate. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.